Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to the KnitChat Cafe. My name is Noelle, and this is my friend
Kelly,
and we are a mostly knitting podcast coming to you from Ontario, Canada. Even though we're still separated, we're still far apart. I am in Muskoka, and Kelly, you are in.
I am still in Courtright. Yes.
So we're probably about 5.5, 6 hours drive apart. So, and you're having warmer weather.
Do we know how many kilometers apart we are? Somebody made a comment last week, and I know that we are guilty as this. Canadians seem to measure distance in time.
In hours, yeah. It's probably, I think from my house, it's about maybe 500 kilometers. So you're a little bit farther, maybe 530. I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
Far enough, a long enough drive. It's not, for me, that length of a drive is not a day trip.
No, it is. So, it's a long drive. Oh, hi, Crystal from Nova Scotia.
So,
yes.
Big
welcome to
everybody.
Joy. Joy was in here first, kicking things off at the tailgate party, at the pre-party. And it's always so good to see everybody in here chatting ahead of time. And a get well wish going out to Frankie. She has pneumonia again. I saw that when I checked in earlier. That's not fun. It's not fun once. I'm certain it's not fun when you're getting it on a repeat dose. So I hope you're feeling better, but I'm glad that you're here with us tonight.
There's still, like, I've sort of been up here and I feel sort of isolated, but there's a lot of stuff going around because I know Jacqueline was saying Zoe just went back to school today and she was off all last week and yesterday. So it was so long that they actually had to call the school to say, she is coming back. So I think Jacqueline was glad for her to go back. Jacqueline said she was home yesterday and a lot of her energy was back. So she figured she's good.
She's ready to go. Yeah. She's good to go. Good to go.
Yeah. So it seems like we're finally in March.
We are finally in March, but today
that corner
a little bit, and we've got a lot of rain. So finally the snow is gone and I'm not sad to see it go. But yeah,
there's still a lot of snow up where I am. So it's not gonna, well, I know it is supposed to get milder up here, but not quite as mild as what it is at home. But I still think it's amazing how fast the snow melts once you get a couple of warm days.
It does not take long. It really doesn't. I mean, we still have little bits, like sort of in the banks on the side of the road, and it's in its dirty stage too. It looks weather worn.
You know what?
Been plowed. There's a lot of road dirt on it. It's not pleasant, but
it's not like here. I was taking the garbage out today and I thought, wow, it's just because it's not a huge population up here. And walking up to the driveway, the snow's still all white and pretty on the pine trees. And I thought I should be filming this. So, but yeah, because at home it never stays white.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so big welcome to everybody. And we're glad that you're all joining us.
Yes. And we do have a little something that we want to talk about. And Noelle and I just had a little convo about this ahead of time. So we're just going to share this with you. We have always stated that we are not a political podcast, and we are still not a political podcast. But
that's right.
Canada and the US right now is going through a very trying time. And what we want to say to you is that all are welcome here. This is safe space. We are here for an hour and a half a week. Not to say that things are not going on in the world. We understand that they are, but this is your time to come together. You are all our friends and all are welcome here. We just want to reiterate that, world politics aside, this is where we want to be with the people that are like-minded, crafty, happy people. So we welcome you.
And there's things going on in the world all the time.
Absolutely.
Right. But we want this to be a place where everybody feels welcome, everybody feels safe. And we're just our friends getting together for a coffee and some knitting or wine or tea or
in our PJs on the bottom and dressed up on the top or however it is that you want to.
I have jeans on today.
Jeans on, do you?
I do.
Mine got wet when I was out today. So I came home and
usually I always have my pajamas on the bottom, but anyway, today I have jeans. So
anyway, that's what we have to say about that. Just continue being kind. I know all of you are, and we love you. We just love you and know that you're welcome here.
We have the best people here. Like it
we
just
really
do. It just warms our heart to know that there's conversations going on in the chat before we even get on here. And we know that we can't get to every comment. And we just love how you all support each other and answer each other and connect with each other. And that's probably the best part of this, of doing this, is just seeing that is what brings me joy. So.
Yeah. And now I'm going to get emotional. So we're going to end that. Okay. It's because it's a hard topic, but I have some happy things to show you. Look at this. I have a couple of things to take our minds off of that. I got a couple of photos from Mr. Miles today, and I thought that this would be exactly what everybody needed to see because it warmed my heart today. Here's a little picture of Miles at school. Wasn't this great? Wouldn't you love to go to school in a place like this? He goes to outside school twice a week, and they are out there rain or shine. And I'm not even sure what subject he's learning there, but he's having a lot of fun doing it.
He's fishing.
He's fishing, or he's doing something with a stick. And then I have one more photo of Miles, and this one I really loved. When he got home from school, he decided to take his dog for a walk. So this is Zeus, and this is Miles walking Zeus. Poor little Miles is on the ground. Zeus is a little stronger than Miles. And anyway, I just thought that I would share those photos because it's been a while since we've had any pictures of Mr. Miles. But yeah. Okay.
Okay.
On the show.
On with the show. Did you have any questions?
I did not.
Okay. I do. Okay. A few.
Okay.
So first of all,
let's see if we find some answers.
Okay. So this is we need an answer from you because I already know what I use, but actually was a question from Jan, who actually owns a yarn store up here in Haliburton, and she was wondering what yarn people go to make garments for kids. So you want it to be hard wearing, but not superwash, and a sport to a fingering weight. Now I know we talk a lot about the Barocco Vintage DK or the Barocco Vintage, but it's obviously not a sport.
That's right.
And I know that there is Barocco, the vintage sock, but it is quite thin. Like I would say it would be on the
it's a thin
I would
fingering.
consider it a light fingering, right? Because it's got quite good yardage. So is there anything that anybody uses that they think is a really good yarn for kids, meaning that it's not itchy and it doesn't pill like crazy? Because a lot of soft yarns do pill a lot more. So what about you? Have you used anything?
Well, my mind is going to the yarn that I used to make my Deep Dean, which was the Estelle.
The Echo Tweed.
Yes. Is it Echo Tweed or not? What did I?
Well, it is tweed.
It's a tweed. Hold on 1 second. I've got my Ravelry pulled up here on the side. Let me just super quick pull it up because there's a few really good Estelle yarns that I've been kind of keen on lately. And where the heck is the Deep Dean? Didn't make it that long ago. There we go. It is it's the Eco Tweed DK. Estelle yarns.
DK, but it is a light.
It is a DK, but it is a light DK.
Yeah.
So I think that you could transition that into a sport weight. You might have to do a little bit of math, and I don't think that I'm pretty positive that one is not a super wash because it's a woolen spun. It's very soft on the skin, and it does wash really well. I mean, you can't throw that in the washer and dryer for sure. You cannot, but it's easily hand washed, and then you could just lay it flat to dry.
Yeah, there's also the Juniper Moon Farms Patagonia, which actually is listed as a DK, but really knits to more of a sport weight because I think it's got 350. I think it's got 350 meters and 100 grams, and I find it wears really well. I find it soft. Now, Zoe probably would not find it soft, but again, it's not one that you're going to throw in the washer and dryer. You are going to have to probably hand wash it and lay it out. So
okay. Kim is suggesting one that she has purchased from Wool Warehouse, and she calls it Serdar Drifter. She said it's really nice, and it is a sport DK weight. So that's something else that you could try if you're looking.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know the Barocco comes in Barocco Vintage Baby, but I still think that might be still a DK. It's just
still a DK.
It's packaged in 50-gram skeins as opposed to the 100. So. Okay, so if anybody has any other ideas, just pop them in there. And yeah, we're always looking for good yarns to knit for kids things.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the next one was, and I haven't checked this out, but someone suggested, we were talking a lot about bind-offs last week, and someone suggested one called Jenny's Interlock Bind-Off. I don't know if anybody's heard of it or not. I didn't have a chance to look it up.
I haven't heard of that one.
But apparently it's sewn. I'll try to find a video on it and look it up for next week and see what it looks like. But that was one that I had not heard of before.
Okay.
So, and then another question was about Knit Companion. And after you're done a project, what do you do? Do you leave the project on there? Do you delete the project? Now this viewer said that she, like she has to go through them to try and find the current project. Well, we had a viewer that let us know before that you don't have to do that, because there's a little arrow at the top that you just press and it will bring up the project,
yes,
the latest,
the most recent project
worked on,
or it brings them up in order that you've opened them last.
Yes.
So whatever you've worked on most recently.
Yes.
And so if you go to the top of your screen, it's a little open-ended upside down triangle.
Yes.
You click on that triangle and then it will load the projects in order of the ones that you've worked on the most.
Worked on them or opened them.
Now, having said all of that, I don't delete the projects.
I don't delete mine.
Because I'm not a very good housekeeper, I guess. I just don't go in and get rid of them, because I tend to make a lot of notes. And I think, well, if I want to go back into that, those notes could be useful. So I tend to like hoard my Knit Companion. And I don't think it takes up very much space, because I've checked occasionally, like just to see, what programs or what apps are using up space on my iPad. And it doesn't, because remember, they're only a PDF file, and a PDF file is very small in comparison.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take up much space.
I don't delete them. You're right, because you might want to go back. And again, I write on mine too, and you might want to see what you wrote on it, or I don't delete them either, because it might be, I really like the bind off that I used in that. I want to go back.
That's right. I might want to go back to that. Yeah. So that will be a life-changing thing for you. Just click on that upside down triangle, because for years I didn't know about that. And then when somebody did it was like, that's like that life-changing moment for Knit Companion. So
yeah. So even if you forget that little thing, there is a little box there that you can type in the name of the project and it'll bring it up right away.
Right.
So there is different ways to find the things on there. Okay, so the next question was about someone that knit socks and the heel is worn out. Now, she didn't say in the heel whether the heel was a heel flap and gusset, a short row heel, or a what's the other kind? Afterthought.
Afterthought, yes.
And she wanted to know whether she could cut the heel out and pick them up and do it again. Definitely, if it's an afterthought, you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very easily.
A short row, I'm not sure. I don't see why you shouldn't be able to, if you go around and pick up all the stitches around before you cut it out. Like you might be knitting in a different direction, but if you actually pick up the stitches first, I think you should be able to. But the heel flap, I'm not sure, because that's all connected to the inset.
There's a little note here. Gail has chimed in and she said heel flap. So I don't know if she's the one who posed the question.
Okay, maybe she was.
So that's going to be a little trickier, Gail. I think you have to get out that darning egg, because I don't think you can redo a heel flap and gusset. Yeah.
I guess what you could do is you could pick up stitches before and after, but then you'd have to do that whole chunk in the middle, right?
Yes.
You'd have to do the whole heel flap and the gusset again, and then Kitchener the other side back on. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be really tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're not going to get satisfaction from darning it, it can't hurt to try. If the socks aren't any good to you at the moment, it can't hurt to go back and try and see what you can come up with.
Yeah. Do you still have
go down to the leg?
Yes. Do you still have some of the yarn that you used? Like, do you have the same yarn? Because I do find, like, when you're darning, if you have a little bit of that same yarn left, really, you can do a pretty bang up job on that. And it's not noticeable to either the wearer or the viewer of the sock.
Yeah.
So Alice is saying you could pick up above the heel flap and knit a whole new heel and then graft the foot back in after.
That's what I was saying you could do.
Yes.
So, which is a lot more work than darning.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, I like heel flap and gussets, but I guess that's one of the drawbacks. But I don't find that that's where I tend to wear my socks out on the ball of the foot and not on the heel.
And I have to say, I've never yet worn out a pair of socks. So there's that too. But my husband has already in his new socks.
Oh, there
Hook
you
them
go.
on something. Hook them on something. Yes.
Okay. And the next question was also about socks, and it was about the high instep and what you can do, or the high arch, and depends on what type of heel you're going to do. If you're doing an afterthought, you can knit extra rows before you start your decrease section. I know I do 7 if it's for some of my sons or my husband. I do 5 if it's for me. It depends on how high your arch is. There's no limit to what you can do in there. Or you could increase stitches kind of around that area and then decrease down. Then it won't matter because you're going to decrease down to whatever before you graft off your heel.
Right.
With a heel flap and gusset, you can make the heel flap longer, right? And then if the heel flap is longer, you're going to pick up more stitches when you go and pick up the gusset stitches, and that will give you more room in that area. Now, where it's a little bit harder is probably a short row heel. I guess you'd have to increase. I think we talked about that, or take a couple of stitches from each side. So the easiest one to probably increase, and the one that probably fits a higher arch, is probably the heel flap and the gusset. So
going back to the heel flap and gusset, Irene mentions if you're willing to do a little bit of reknitting, you could take that sock out all the way back to and reknit it from the leg portion down, like go back to where the heel starts, and you're probably able to save the yarn that you used in the foot. So there's that option too, Gail.
Yeah. And then the last question was about swifts and winders. And this viewer has bought a new swift, but finds that she has to wind the ball a second time to get rid of the tangle and stuff in the middle. I have not had the best luck with ball winders. And I don't know that it's got anything to do with my swift. I've gotten a new ball winder. It's a wooden one, and I just don't like it. Well, you saw the first ball I wound from it. I think it was one of the first times I met you, and it took me like 2 hours to unwind that ball. It tangled it so much.
Yes.
And so if anybody has some good suggestions for what to do, I do find sometimes, depending on the yarn, I might have to re-roll a ball twice to get a nice perfect cake.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know.
So I have the Stanwood ball winder. I did a fairly comprehensive little bit of research before I bought a ball winder, because I did have another one. I had I won't say which one I had, but it was a lower price ball winder, and as much yarn slid off of that ball winder as I got onto the ball. So it was just an absolute exercise in frustration. So I went on actually to Ravelry, because, you know, a lot of people are always showing off their cakes of yarn when they start a project. So I started perusing Ravelry for some good looking cakes. And then I reached out to those people. I sent them a message and said, hey, can I ask what kind of a winder? It's a nice looking cake. What kind of a winder do you have? And what I invariably got back was the Stanwood. So I spent a little bit more money, because it's not cheap, but it's not exorbitantly expensive, but it was a decent price. And I bought the Stanwood, and I've had it probably for 7 or 8 years. It is still making those gorgeous cakes. I have zero complaints. So that's just from me.
Okay. But in this case, she's already got it. So some ideas that you might want to use is, and I've had some people say it through here, that slow down, don't try to do it super fast. That could be my problem. So.
And is it all yarns too? Because I do, like, there's the odd time, like some yarn is a little slippery.
Yep.
And it will slide off. So I do find I have to slow down, because I tend to just whiz through that. Like, you know, it's a workout. And get that ball wound up. So yeah, you're right. Slowing down helps.
Yep.
Sometimes I
hold it.
Yes.
It gives it just a little bit more tension going on. The one that I'm using now is one that I got. It's probably like 20 years, and it's just one of those plastic one, and it works better than the other one I got. But I really am in the market to look for a new one, so I might look at that one you're talking about. So
okay.
But okay, and that's it for questions. So
okay, I had this popped into the chat. Thank you for mentioning last week that Very Pink Knits has a whole series. So if you missed the comment last week and you are thinking about using Knit Companion, yes, Very Pink Knits has an entire grouping of tutorials on Knit Companion. I found them very helpful when I was starting out using the program, so I highly recommend to go in there and check that out. And oh, this was just a funny little comment that we missed, talking about mending socks. She said she stepped on glass once in a freshly knit sock. She said her own foot healed without any trouble, but the sock needed a little surgery. The patient lived. So good news all the way around. She healed, the sock healed. Very good.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I think we have some prizes.
We do. We have some prizes. So, we are talking about our year-long Sockalong. So actually, before we do that, let's do this. Let's chat about this. Okay. So all year long we have our excuse me, our Sockalong. So we're going to skip over that one because we will talk about, well, never mind. I'll just say it anyway. We have a Sockalong, and it's basically knit the socks, enter the socks into our group on Ravelry, and each month we draw 2 prizes, and we draw all the way back to January 1, and we draw for a pattern prize generously donated by Natalie _remembrances. I said to her on Saturday, I'm going to make myself a sticky note and stick it on my monitor. And I still didn't do that. So that was good of me to remember, because she changed her name and it's tricky. So she generously donates a prize each month, and she has some great patterns, colorwork patterns for socks and some sweaters. And then our second prize is always some sock yarn, fingering weight yarn anyway. And we draw from all the way back to the beginning. So I'm going to announce those winners right after this. And Noelle, if you want to talk about the other Makealong.
Okay. So the other Makealong that we have going is our not selfish knitter Makealong. And it's running from January the 1st until March the 31st, 2025. So we know a lot of us did a whole lot of gift knitting before Christmas. So this is intended for you to knit something that you just want to knit. So it can be something for yourself. It can be something that you maybe put off because you were busy doing some gift knitting. So this is just something that brings you joy. So the only restrictions on it are you need to use a minimum of 50 grams of yarn and no whip. So this is something that was started January 1st or after. And there are 2 threads on Ravelry. One is a chatter thread where you can talk about it, and the other one is a finished object thread. And we will draw from that at the end of March.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I did the draw tonight before the podcast, and we have, by the way, 898 entries to the end of February. So by my simple math, if I multiplied that out, that's only the first 2 months of the year. That would give us 5,400 pairs of socks.
Yay.
And we are challenging you to knit 5,000 pairs. So if you keep up the pace, we're in it. We're in there. Okay. We are in there. You're good knitters. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So our pattern winner for February is Pauline.
Ooh, those are nice.
Peekaboo Knits. I'm wondering if that's Peekaboo Knits, but Peekaboo Knits on Ravelry. And she was number 840.
Ooh, and so that was a current pair.
Yes, it was a very current pair. So this is a really nice looking pair of socks. You can tell all of that ribbing. These are going to be some good fitting socks. And I really like the color palette that she's got there. It's just, they're beautiful, beautiful pair of socks. Yeah. So you have won, Pauline, the pattern prize from Natalie. And what we will tell everybody how to get in touch with us in just a moment. And so the second prize is our yarn prize. And I will show you what the yarn prize is this month. It is this very pretty, very spring color of Ginger Snap. And this is their twist fingering. Okay. Lovely colors in there. We've got some turquoise, some pale blues, some lighter turquoise down here at the bottom of the skein. So this will be on its way to you. And the winner is...
Oh, those are nice.
Gina.
Those look like are those a heel toe do-si-do?
They are a heel toe do-si-do. And I think we've both knit those socks, haven't we?
Yeah. Yep. I've knit them several times.
Yeah, they really look
So,
good in on a self-striping yarn.
self-striping.
Yeah, it's a perfect pattern. And she was number 785. So both numbers tonight were at the higher number scale. But anyway, that is our winners for February. So
Yeah,
congratulations.
congratulations.
Let me pull
So,
this
and
up.
remember, keep getting those socks in there.
Yeah. Okay, Noelle, how can they reach us?
Okay, so you can email us at knitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com. If you are the pattern winner, I will send you a code that you can use on Ravelry to pick your pattern. And for the sock prize winner, I need your full name, phone number, and mailing address. So,
and while we have the address up,
oh,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say congratulations. All of your socks look amazing. So keep getting those socks in there. The more pairs you get in there, the sooner you get them in, the more chances you have to win a prize.
Absolutely. And if you are suffering from a case of I've lost my sock mojo, go check out that forum and your mojo will be back. There's so many pairs in there that I want to knit. I go through it periodically and I just think in my lifetime, I can't knit as many gorgeous socks as there are in there. But anyway, what I wanted to say before I took the email address off the screen, if you have anything that you want to reach out to us about, this is where you can best reach us. Noelle monitors this email for us, and this is the easiest place for you to reach us. We may miss it if it goes somewhere else, so please use this. This is the best place. Okay.
So
onward.
Do you have any FOs?
What are you wearing, Noelle?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
I'm wearing jeans.
You're wearing jeans. Yeah, I'm wearing PJ bottoms by Old Navy, and they do not match the top. I can assure you. They have
don't.
They have pink trees on them. So.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. What are you wearing?
Okay, I am wearing my primrose sweater. So this is a pattern by Marie Wallen, and I did this in a kit that I got from the Woolly Thistle back. I don't know if it was during the pandemic or when it was, but it was quite a while ago. So it's knit in British Breeds yarn, which is Marie Wallen's yarn, and this is the lighter weight version. So the kit comes, I can't remember exactly how many colors. There's like 11 or 12 colors in it, and it's all over Fair Isle knitting. So, but there's only ever 2 colors in a row. So there is a lot of ends to weave in, but like the knitting's relatively easy because you're not ever carrying a 3rd color across the row. Mm-hmm. And I did a couple of modifications, really only one major one, and that was where the pattern had called for you to join up. This is bottom up, and where the pattern called you to like end your yoke and join the sleeves, for me, was too low. I would have been, every time I raised my arms, it would have been half the sweater would have been going up. So I continued on further, did the sleeves longer before I rejoined it, which meant I had to like rework some of the, like where you started in the pattern design. But
okay, right.
Yeah, because you were joining at a different spot. But I'm happy that I did it, because I don't think I would have been as happy with the fit of it if I had have left it the way that it was. And I don't believe that the pattern had any short rows in the back. So I put just a couple of little short rows in the back of the neck just to make it sit a little better. So, and then there was the kit, there was quite a bit of yarn left over from the kit. So I actually took that yarn and had enough to do the yoke of the Paul Clay sweater. So, because, and it wasn't like it was a whole lot of extra balls. It was just some of the balls of color. You only used like maybe a half to 2/3 of the ball. So you still had quite a bit of yarn left over from it. So, but her colors are spectacular. They all seem to go together. Like there's not, you don't have to say, oh, I don't know what this will look like, but this, the way that the tones are and the colors, they just all seem to go together. And I know it's a blend of, there's some Romney in there, some Schwartz. It's all British breeds, but it was beautiful yarn to work with. It comes in 25 gram balls. I find, to me, it's a little bit thicker than like the Shetland Spindrift. So,
yeah, the colors are gorgeous.
So she does a really nice job with the colors. And I much prefer, I have done another sweater or a vest in her Aran weight. I much prefer the fingering weight. Like it just makes a nicer fabric. The Aran weight is nice, but if you do an all over color work in Aran, it is a pretty darn heavy
sweater. Yeah. So, even for our cold Canadian winters, there'd be not too many days that you could wear that.
Well, like even this, right? Because it's like everywhere is double. So you've got a double layer of that fabric everywhere, and it's 100% wool. So even this is a warm sweater. Like it's actually been perfect for up here. But sometimes at home we aren't quite as cold, so it's a little bit. Sometimes I find it a little bit warm for there.
Yeah, but I mean, a true wool sweater is actually, it's a very warm garment to wear anyway, right? It doesn't have to be thick and heavy, but it's just the nature of the fabric that it creates.
Yeah,
you're always cozy warm in it anyway. So okay.
And what are you wearing?
I am wearing the Werner vest by Vitra Design and heavily modified. So I did, see, am I going to be able to switch it?
I just switched it.
Oh, you did it. Okay.
I did.
Okay, thank you. So this is the vest. I wanted a vest that fit a little bit longer and a little bit looser. So, I mean, it's a pretty, just, I don't know, it's like a pretty comfortable fit. And so the original pattern was for a very cropped, very fitted version. So I actually added some stitches, but I wanted the narrow bit at the shoulders. So I kept that part of the design. And then I also picked up a few less stitches so that it'd have a more fitted arm. And I wanted it to make a little bit of a detail. So I added this detail. I might have to take that. I'll put this banner down just so you can see it.
There you go.
So I added this little bit of a lace. It's an 8-stitch pattern of lace that runs down the side of it. And then I did a split hem on this as well, but I did it 4 stitches overlapping so that the front part of the vest overlaps the back part. And anyway, I held 2 yarns together. So this is the Holst Coast in River, which is a very thin yarn. And it's a cotton wool blend, 45-55 cotton and wool. And so very, very light. And then I held that with Drops Mohair, and that color is Storm Blue. And the colors, it's like they were meant to be put together. It's perfect. I'm really, really happy with this project. I do wear it quite a bit. And
it's nice. Well, it's perfect for jeans.
Yeah, it really is.
And
I'm kind of, hooked on the mohair lately. I've been doing a little bit again with mohair. So when I went upstairs to get dressed tonight, I thought, well, maybe I'll put on a mohair vest. I've been wearing lots. Oh, and it's got a nice V-neck too. So I can choose to wear it with either a button down or a t-shirt. I do like that look as well. Just a white tee underneath it. But yeah, it's very lightweight. It has some very nice details. This I didn't modify. This was actually in the pattern. Really nice stitch detail, the way it's finished. So yeah. I would recommend the pattern for sure.
Okay. LPGA is asking if the Marie Wallen pattern was telling you which color to use. Yes, for this one I bought the kit, so it was all the colors that were in the original design, and there's charts that show you which color is which. So I didn't do anything as far as color placement or change anything there. So, okay. So do you have any finished objects?
I do. I have one. How many do you have?
I have 3.
Okay. You go ahead.
Okay. So my first one, I can only show you a little sneak peek, a little piece of it, because it is not going to be released till tomorrow. So it's the Nola V tee, and it is a pattern by Jennifer Shields Toland, and I was in the test knit group. So let me just bring up so it's the Enola BT. It won't be the test as of tomorrow. It will be actually released tomorrow. And I've just got like I'll just show you a little part of it. It was a pleasure to knit. The pattern is very well written. I don't know. I can't say enough about it. Like we've done quite a few of Jennifer's patterns, and they just, the detail is there, and she's got little details that she puts into things that just make the project. So in this particular one, it's
short. So pretty with the silk scarf too. I like that. That looks great.
A really nice twisted stitch detail up at the shoulders, and then the V-neck, which I love the V-neck, and the V-neck is worked right when you do the pattern. So you don't have to go back and pick up any stitches for your V-neck. You're working it right when you start. And so hopefully by next week, I will have some totally finished pictures taken wearing it. But again, look for that pattern to come out tomorrow. She does show an option in it too, where you can actually lengthen the sleeves if you want to.
Liz says that the NOLA has been moved to March 12th.
Oh, okay, so it's not out until March 12th then. Okay, I must not have seen the latest. I must not have seen the latest on there. So that's not a week from.
You have to wait a little longer.
I know. That's a week from tomorrow. Okay, well, 2 weeks from today. We'll show you. But anyway, it is really well written, and I think it's going to be perfect for like spring, because I think even with the sleeves up here, you could wear like a jean jacket over top of it. And I just really love how you can put the scarf on and you've still got just that little nice bit of a V-neck, which is not too deep. So okay, so that's the first.
Before I move on, I just want to note this comment here. Sandra's asking how to post her finished socks to the Cal. We have an episode not too far back, and it's, if you look back in our library, Sandra, it will be tagged beside it, where Noelle did an on-screen tutorial of how to post your project into Ravelry. So you can check that and you will see the instructions for that.
Yeah, it should have that right in the title that says tutorial on how to. So
yeah, it's one of our live chats, but it will say it beside that in the title. Yeah.
Okay, so Vicki, sorry, I forgot to say the sweater, the Enola V I did it in BC Garn Bio Balance, which is a cotton merino blend, and it is a fingering weight. So the gauge in the pattern was 25 stitches for 4 inches. So I did it on a 3.25 millimeter needle. So, and it took 3.1 grams. They're 50 gram skeins. However, I only used 2 skeins and a bit, but when I weighed it, the skeins were overweight. So I actually have a 3 skein garment from 2-point-something skeins of yarn.
Right.
So yeah, because the skeins, each of the skeins were over by about 8 grams.
Oh, that's a win.
For a 50 gram
that's quite
skein.
Big.
It is.
That is
so
a
that's
huge
what I mean.
difference.
Even though I wouldn't chance not buying the 3 skeins to do it. Because if the skeins had been 50 grams, I would have used 3 point whatever. So,
well, if you're going to a yarn store, you could always take
your scale with you.
Your scale with you and look for the fat skeins, right? The overweights. Yes.
Yeah. So, and there is details in the pattern too, and I'll talk more about when I show the picture. There is details for waist shaping as well, so you can kind of get a nice custom fit for yourself. So, okay.
Shirley's asking if the KnitChat has a Facebook page. We do not, Shirley. No. Time constraints, really, between Instagram, which actually, if hold on, if can you switch back?
I don't do Facebook. Ross's account got hacked a couple of times with people thinking he was selling Taylor Swift tickets, and then another time it was saying that we were moving and we were selling shipping containers and whatever else. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna like stay away from Facebook.
Can you switch that tab back, please?
Yeah.
I was just going to put up our names again at the bottom of the page. There we go. So on Instagram, this is where you can find us. We've got our names here at the bottom of the page. That's where I'm most socially active, is on there. And then also we have our Ravelry group, and we stay active on there as well. And so between those two things, that keeps us busy enough. Yeah. So Facebook is just not, it's not an option for us at this point in time.
So okay. Now Kay says that she's got to start weighing her skeins. Now, do you weigh yours before you put them away?
I try to remember to. I do. Or if I don't know. No, sorry. I hardly ever weigh them before I put them away. I just put them in Ravelry the way it is, however it comes up when I'm stashing. But I do try diligently to always weigh them before I start working with them, because that way I can get an accurate weight for yardage purposes on what I actually. So I realize that I may not accurately reflect that in Ravelry as to what I have left, but at least I will know per project what I actually used, if that makes sense. So
and I don't know if it was you or someone said that they would weigh theirs and then actually write it on the ball band. So but be careful when you weigh that ball band. You might not think, but it might weigh a couple of grams. So like weigh it after you've caked it or where you've taken the tags
Yes.
off it, but then you can still write it on that ball band. And then
Yeah, and
like
that's
I
what I
try
do.
to, and I try to, if there is a place in Ravelry where you can go down and you can actually put in just notes that only you can see. And I will sometimes do that and say like this skein weighed this much. And then when I'm done the project, I can go in and put an accurate weight on the amount of yarn that was actually used. Yeah. And plus then if you keep your yarn in Ravelry, it will subtract the yarn that you've used and you can update your stash to reflect the amount that you actually still have.
Yeah. And I try to keep my ball bands too. Sometimes I lose them, but I try to keep them because, like, for instance, this Holst one, just give you a little, there you can see all of my notes. So I bought this December 11th, 21, and I got down to 45 grams. So I actually used it in a pair of fingerless mitts. Then I just used it again in my cardigan that I crocheted. So I crossed out the 45 and now I've marked it. I'm down to 37 grams. And then I've just done a rough tape job to tape it back on so that I know what it is. And so I try to do that. If it's something that I can't get a ball band back around, I can either put it on with an elastic or sometimes I'll put it in a baggie. Like this leftover yarn, the tag that goes with it is...
I do this.
MIA. No, there it is.
I roll up my ball band and put it in the middle of it because I roll from this side. So I actually roll up the ball band and stick it in the middle of the...
I can't see the tag without pulling it out. So
I just pull it out then and look at it and then put it back in.
Yeah. But something else you can do is you can hang an elastic off of it like this. And then this is just going to go back into my stash as such because I'm done with that now too. So there's just lots of different ways that you can track what you have left. But I know that if I don't have a ball band, gosh, I know that's Holst, but Holst has 200 colors. I have no idea what I would have. So for me, it's just easier to try to hang on to the bands as much as I can. So.
Okay.
All right. I'm up. Finishes, right? Okay. So I finished my indoorsy socks, my latest pair of indoorsy socks. And do I? Yeah, I do have a banner still. This is a free pattern by the Sandra Yarn Company. And this is the second time I've made them. The first ones I made and I gifted away. And then I made this pair. And I love them. I just love them.
They're good. They're so good.
I held the Biscot yarns, and this is the Hudson Memories. So it's the traditional Hudson Bay colors, self-striping. And I held it with the mohair that we talked about last week. This is the Elite Spun mohair, and it is a Canadian yarn company, and you're buying it directly from the mill. So this is undyed mohair.
Yeah.
And it's really, really nice mohair. It comes in 50 gram
skeins. Hanks,
50 gram hanks, which is a fair bit of mohair for a very, very reasonable price. And if you buy it in bulk, like Noelle and I did, 20 skeins of it, the price gets even better. And they covered the shipping at that level. So I think if you're interested in this, we put a link in last week's podcast on where you can find it.
I can put it in again. So
and then this is not held with the cream mohair. This is 2 yarns. One is from Natalie, so I don't know the name of the yarn, but then the mohair that I held with it is Emma's Yarn mohair. And this is multiple projects that I've used this in. And I must be getting near the end of this ball. I only had 8 grams when I started this project, and I did cuffs and toes. So I don't know what I have left because I haven't weighed it yet, but I still have some. My goodness, I thought I would finally put this one to bed, but there's probably still enough there to do something with. But anyway, I love these. And I made the second size, which was casting on 52 stitches. I did modify it. It's not... I changed my heel, but all of my notes are in Ravelry. So if you're interested to go there, and then I did my typical rounded toe decreases. That's what I like to do. And I decreased it down to 20 stitches. So 10 on either needle. And then I grafted it together with the Finchley graft. And These are so cozy, and
I know, like
the yarn feels
I've
great.
been loving the mohair socks this winter.
Yeah, I know. And you know what? Like I thought that they, you know, because they are thick and they're like spa socks, right? But I thought that they wouldn't be good to wear outside. I thought, oh, these are just going to be house socks. But you know what? I wear these in my boots all the time. And by
I wear
boots,
mine in my boots.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
they
mean
fit.
like my Blundstone boots and things like that,
Yeah,
right? Like they're not, because the mohair like really compresses
compresses.
when, yeah.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
can totally wear these, even though
They
they
do.
are classified as a DK weight sock.
They feel like putting a hug on your feet. They
They
do.
do.
I
They
didn't
do.
think I honestly didn't think I would love them that much, but
Okay. Natalie just chimed in and said that this color is the Leo and Roxy More Mustard.
yeah, so
So
that must be their basics. The
it's
basics
the
was called
basics.
More
Yeah.
Mustard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it worked out really well. These two colors together, I thought was like a really good match to this gold color. So now I'll just have to get some sock photos and get the pictures up on my Ravelry, but I'm pretty, and a quick knit, 52 stitches. So I'm still only able to knit like maybe an hour a day just because of the wrist. Had a particularly grueling session today with my physiotherapist, so probably no knitting tonight. But anyway, yeah, it's getting a little bit better, but I still have to be very cautious. So I'm not knitting a lot yet. Still taking it very gingerly. Okay.
Okay. So my next finished object are my D'Artagnan by Kuwa Coffee. This was a whole lot of knitting to get these done.
Yes, and you got them done.
I did. So these are finished. There's two here. These are, for some reason, these socks, it seemed like they went on forever. Like, I mean, I did all those textured ones last year, and these ones just seemed like they went on forever. So these are done with West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply in the colorway Pacific or Marine. I can't remember. But anyway, it took 82 grams. And I mean, normally I do a pair of socks in about like 60 or 65 grams. So it took 82 grams, but the socks are like 84 stitches around here. So this is a man's sock. So they're 84 stitches around here. The sole is decreased to like half of 72, which is what I normally do for a man's sock. But the top then still has your 42 stitches. And every second row is a cable row. And I can't, the yarn's too slippery. I find that I can't do it without a cable needle. So I think that's what just really slowed me down, but they're done. They have a really nice feature in the heel flap and gusset. It's like a knit two, purl two, but it's like still a slip stitch heel, but you're slipping 2 stitches instead of 1. I mean, I'm really happy with the way they look, and the yarn like shows off the cables really nicely.
Really
this
well.
Is a free
really
pattern
well.
on. This is a free pattern. So that is pair number 2. I believe that these ones are going to be for Ross. He liked this pattern and he liked this color. So that's pair number 2 done for Christmas 2025. So.
And you beat, yes, Julia, you're right. I did double dog dare her to get them done. And she.
Well, you said by the 5th and today's only the 4th. I'm looking at
Oh, well, hey, you could have another pair half knit by then. Absolutely.
Anyway.
I knew that you just needed that extra little charge. And I know that if I dare you to do something, you will for sure do it. So
they're done. They're done.
Yes.
So
awesome. They look amazing.
Thank you. And I have one. Do you have any more finished objects?
No.
Okay. I have one more finished object. So my next finished object is my Bokit bag by DeBrosse. This is a crocheted bag, and I'll just show you some pictures before I show it to you. So here's the bag. I love this. Like I think it looks great. Like this bag. It's done in Lion Brand Rewind. So this is the yarn that it's done in. So it's Lion Brand Rewind, and it's like a tape. What?
Sharon says it is the 5th in Australia, Noelle.
Yeah, but I'm not there. I'm not in.
But I didn't say the 5th where. I just said the 5th. So let's just say you just scooted in under deadline.
Anyway, there's what the yarn looks like. So it's like a tape yarn. It is a bulky weight. This is 100 grams. There's 219 yards in here. And I've got a couple more pictures. This bag holds a lot of yarn.
So I do have a question. How does that feel? Okay, so I know like it has a band that kind of hangs over your arm. How does it feel to the skin?
Fine.
Does it? Okay, because I have I have super sensitive skin, right? So like,
what
does
is
it feel rough on your arm if you're
It's 70%, no, 70% polyester, 30% viscose.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, no, it's not like raffia. It's not like raffia.
That's what I was thinking it would feel like. Okay.
There's the bag, right? So it's a good size. You can hang it over your arm. So you actually could have your knitting coming out.
You could knit right out of it. That would be great.
Yep. So yeah, and so like it's actually like got quite a good bottom. It sits up fine if you just wanted to open it up and just knit from it. Like it's quite sturdy. So it's done with a 400, a 4mm crochet hook was what was called for. I used a 4.5, but my gauge is actually exactly what the crochet gauge was. So
well, you knit tight, so you probably crochet tight. Yeah. And how many grams did the bag take?
123 grams. So one full skein and 23 grams of the second skein.
Okay. And can you say again what the yarn is? Or
it is Lion Brand Rewind. I'll hold it up properly here. No.
Where would you get that? Do you know?
Mary Maxim's has it.
Okay. Okay.
So Mary Maxim's has it, and the Lion Brand website has it.
Okay.
So I did see it on Amazon, but it was quite a lot more expensive on Amazon. But Mary Maxim does have it, and so does Lion Brand. It comes in a lot. Well, I mean, not a lot.
Does it come in other colors?
It does come in other colors. Yes, it does. So
I like it. I like it a lot.
I really like it, and it was the crocheting. It's a little bit tight because you want it to be nice and sturdy. So it's not like it's just like internet fast. It is sometimes like you've got to kind of put the hook through, but it's the whole thing is made in one piece, so there's nothing to sew.
I feel like maybe is it one of those projects that it's like not your most fun thing you've ever done while you're doing it, but you really like the finish?
I love it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that is exactly what it is. So, and then I just have one other little picture that just shows because I put my little tag on it. So the little tag, I put that right where I finished off because when you just keep going around in a circle, there's no, like you're not doing a cylinder where you chain one at the end and kind of keep everything's even. You just keep going around. So where I ended it, and then I just like pulled it through, I just put my little tag over that. And it looked fine anyway. You couldn't really tell, but I thought by putting the tag over it, you just kind of covered where you've got your ending of the
I really like it. I'm tempted. I might have to order some.
It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was, and I mean, it didn't take that long to do it. And okay, this is going into whips, but I'll just show you. I've already started with the rest of the yarn. I'm going to do a smaller one.
A yarn bowl.
Is that what you're doing? It's either going to be a yarn bowl, or I might do a little one. And I think one of the granddaughters would like it for a little purse.
Oh, that would be cute too.
It'd be really cute.
Yeah.
So, of course, if I do that, then I'll have to make 4 of them or 5 of them, right? But anyway, but I thought, so by the yarn that I've got left, I'm just doing a smaller base, and I'll just kind of scale everything down and do a little mini one.
It would be cute just to do a little yarn bowl though, too, right?
And I actually looked at this designer, and she's got lots of other little projects that are like, there's a little rectangular dish, and because the yarn does sit really well, it makes really nice like baskets or little bowls or so there was some other really nice projects that were done in it. So
a few people are asking if Michael's would have it. I was at Michael's today. I didn't see it, but then I wasn't looking for that either, so I don't know.
I think I tried to look at the Michael sites, and I think Michael's in the States might have it, but I don't think Michael's in Canada has it. So okay, so that's it for FOs. So,
all right.
And that was one whip. That was one whip. So do you have any whips?
I do. I have, I have 3 things to talk about for whips. Okay. How many things do you have?
3, because I just talked about that one. So,
okay. Well, let me start with this then. So I have to state a retraction to something that I talked about last week. I don't know what I was thinking. Clearly I wasn't reading. So I had said, so this is in relation to the Alpenglow sweater, and I was casting off the sweater, and I said that the pattern basically just said bind off. And That is not true. I don't know what part of the pattern I was reading, probably reading the part where it said, if you're going to do something else, just read ahead. And then I'm not really good at reading patterns. Sometimes I think, oh, I know how to do that. I'll just scoot ahead. So there were instructions on how to bind off, and what it had to do with, so just to show you, the bottom of this sweater is corrugated rib, and it's a 2x1 corrugated rib. And it said to bind this off. So basically the method that she used is, because I was thinking, okay, I'll just backtrack even a little bit more. Normally what I would do, if I were doing a 2x2 rib and then I want to bind off in a tubular fashion, you convert those stitches whereby you're just rotating 2 of the stitches so that you end up with a knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, because you need that 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 for doing a tubular bind off. But this was a 2x1. And no matter how I sorted that out in my head and tried it, I could not get the pattern or the stitches to line up in order to enable me to do a tubular bind off. So here's the thing. And I don't really think that I'm giving away any pattern secrets by talking about this. So what I'll tell you what the pattern said I should have done, and then I'll tell you what I actually did before I found out that the pattern actually gave me instructions. So to convert this 2x1 corrugated rib, what you're doing is a right purl cross. And that is the part that my brain wasn't working around. So you would do a knit, and then you bring your purl forward, and then you knit the next one. And then your next one is going to be another knit stitch, but you convert that. If you're crossing over, your next stitch becomes a purl. So some of the knit stitches are going to become purls. And then that would put you in fine shape for the knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, at which point you could do, I think she recommended the Kitchener stitch to bind off, which is basically the same thing as a sewn bind off. So I'm retracting my statement, and this was an Andrea Mowry pattern, and I thought that she had just said bind off. Excuse me. And I even had a comment from somebody that said, I don't understand why you're just not going according to the pattern. Is I thought there was no further instruction, and there clearly was. So my bad on that. But what I ended up doing, and I love this bind off, I ended up doing an Icelandic bind off. And so I think it worked out just fine. And I'll show you just a little bit of a close-up if I can, like that. And I think the Icelandic bind off gives a really nice finish because it kind of gives you that little bit of a rolled looking edge. And I'm pretty happy with that. And it's not blocked yet, but so it does kind of have that tendency to curl up a little bit, but that's the corrugated rib that's wanting to curl up. It's not the bind off. So once I block this and I lay it flat, like you can already see, there is still like stretch in it, but it is like a fairly flat bind off. So there we go. So that's me retracting that statement last week that the pattern was lacking in something. It was not. I was lacking in the ability to read on. So there we go.
Okay. So I am still working on my ranunculus. So ranunculus is a pattern by Midori Hirose, and I am doing mine in Estelle Shetland worsted. So this is in the color Alpine. So I've got the yolks all done. The body's done to the point where I just have to do the rib, but I was worried about yarn, and I was right to be worried about yarn because I'm going to need another skein of it, but because I'm doing full long sleeves.
Right.
And this is the sweater that they had in the store that they just did with one skein was not this sweater. It was the, what's the one that's got the V's?
The V's?
Yes. It's by Amy Christopher's. You know, she has a cardigan and a pullover. Felix.
Oh, Felix. Okay.
Felix. And it's got like the same gauge, but I should have known. I don't like that gauge. I find it too loose. So of course I wasn't going to do that. So I did my gauge. And even in this, my gauge is probably 16, 17 stitches per inch as opposed to 14, because I just find 14 too loose. Plus I find that 14 stitches in the smallest size of the ranunculus for me is too much positive ease. So I did have a question about how I make them to fit. So I'm down a needle size. I'm doing mine. Well, I'm actually down a couple of needle sizes because I'm doing it on a 5mm. The pattern calls for a 6mm. And I only increase when I get to the raglans. I only increase so that I've got 150 stitches when I actually split for the body. So my whole stitches around in the body is only 150 stitches. So again, I've tried it on. That comes to the top of my hip bone at the moment. So it'll be perfect once I put the rib on there. And then I've got the sleeve to this point. I don't think I'm going to do any further decreases on the sleeve. And then I'll do a rapid decrease, and I'm going to do the same kind of edging on the sleeve that I did on the neck. That's the little roll with the few rows of the knit one, purl one rib. I'll probably do the same on the bottom of the sweater as well. But like, this color is just,
it's a gorgeous color.
Gorgeous. Beautiful and I still got this much left. So I know I'm probably only going to need about like 20 grams out of the next skein, but there'll be enough left to do like a Manhattan hat or something like that out of it.
Sure. Yeah.
So, and I'd rather go and get it and order it now than not be up here and not have it. So hopefully she'll have it, because she had to order it. Hopefully it'll be in before I go, and hopefully that'll get finished soon. If not, I'll just start something else. That won't bother me. But
Brenda reports that that the Mary Maxim has the rework on for $4.99. So where's the closest Mary Maxims to us?
There's only one now. There's only one in Paris.
In Paris. Oh gosh. Will you be driving by Paris?
I thought about it, but no, I won't.
No, it's not. I don't think it's open on Sunday anyway.
No, I think it might be. Well, I don't know that for sure. I don't know. Okay. Road trip. We'll have to do a road trip.
Road trip. A fart.
So don't everybody buy it before we go there.
Pardon me?
Don't everybody go there, and don't everybody buy it.
Yes, don't everybody go there and buy it. I shouldn't have put that up. Actually, someone else said it was on sale at Lion Brand website. Lion Brand has it on sale, but not for that price, but probably not much more than that. So okay. Other thing that I'm working on and thought I would have done, but again, I really can't knit that much in a day because of the arm. So this is the slowest child sweater ever, but I'll just quickly show it because I've talked about it, and I was hoping to show it finished tonight, but this is Miles' little cardigan. So it's cute. The Elwood cardigan. I have one sleeve done and bound off, and I have just one sleeve left to do. So this is the Elwood by Vanjie Knits on Instagram, or Jenny Wee. And I did have a banner for it, but this is a great cardigan pattern, because when you purchase this pattern, it goes from a size 6 months to an adult. And I'm using the Barocco vintage, which is the worsted weight in the Barocco vintage. And I'm really happy with this. I think I just hope I can get it out there to him before he outgrows it, because he's growing like a little weed, but it's just beautiful colors. We talk about this Barocco vintage a lot. They do have it in actually, I think it's 4 weights. So they not have a chunky as well? Or like a
they
have a bulky, a worsted, a DK, and then a fingering weight, and all of their colors.
Have a bulky, and there's a chunky. I don't know if there's a bulky.
I always think of chunky and bulky being the same thing, just 2 different words. Is it not the same?
I don't think so. I think they're, but I'm not. Well, but
whatever is bigger than a worsted, have it, I think. And it does come in a beautiful range of colors, and a lot of them coordinate really well together. This one is just like 2 different shades of blue, and then I put that one pop of red across the yoke. And then even this gray, like depending on how you look at this gray, sometimes it looks blue, sometimes it looks gray. So, and the colors are very nicely heathered as well. So I think that they have a very like rich look to them. Like I don't think it looks like a budget price yarn, even though the price is very budget. I think that they look very high end colors, very, very beautiful tones. So maybe by next week I'll have this done. Gosh.
Okay. So my next project is, this is the Cassandra Sweater Mini by Nashwa Scar, and she is known as Nash Knits. And this is what the sweater looks like. Whoops. So this is, I'm doing this sweater for Mackenzie, is actually going to be one on March 17th. So
that is so cute.
I'm doing a sweater for her, but I'm changing it up a little bit. So I do have it started, but okay, this is all I've got done so far. I decided there's going to be stripes in mine because I didn't want it just all white.
Garter.
So
that is so cute.
This is, you start with the back and then you pick up stitches for the shoulder. So again, it's got that nice back detail where the seam kind of comes on a diagonal. So even though it's a drop shoulder, nice. you still get a little bit of shaping over the shoulders. And then I'm going to do like those stripes all the way down. The yarn that I'm using is Diamond Luxury Tradition, which is, I'm sure this composition is almost exactly what or very close to what the Barocco Vintage DK is. It's 42% wool. I think it might be 40 for the vintage, 51% acrylic and 7% nylon. So it's machine wash, lay flat to dry. This one is a light gray color. I believe that this white one is called Snow, and I can't remember what this one is called. So when I get down to the bottom, it's got that cute little scalloped hem on it. So when I get down to the hem, I think I'm going to do it, depends on how much white I've got left, either the white or the gray, and then I'm going to do the bind up in the corally color. Okay. And then the top of the neck is going to be, the rib is going to be in the gray, and then that rolled part is going to be in that color.
Very pretty. That's going to be so cute.
On this, I think I might just embroider a little flower, like a little daisy flower over on the one side. And I think it'll be cute. But I really like those colors together.
So Louise is
that pop of the coral.
Yeah, Louise is saying that she had to adjust the hem instructions because the scallop instructions don't give you that large scallop. So just, I guess, watch for that when you get to it.
Okay. Okay. It looked like you're doing short rows all the way across, but I'll see when I get to it. So, but anyway, it's it's cute. It's a cute pattern. And then I'll decide when I get done. The sleeves have a little pleat in them, and then I'll decide what I want to do for the color of the I-cord for the little sewn-on bow. The bow doesn't really tie it in. You just sew on the bow after. She's got some really cute, like Nash Knit. She's got some really cute, different kids patterns, and I thought that can be a little bit big because you can wear it with leggings and stuff to start, and then when it gets a little bit taller,
very cute.
So, okay.
So Andrea reports that Mary Maxim's is open on Sundays from 11 until 5. So I think it was just a little bit more on the Lion Brand website. And honestly, I would spend more in gas driving to Paris than I would if I spent the extra $1 on the Lion Brand website.
Mary Maxim's does ship, but I think I looked at their shipping and it was based on the more you bought, the more the shipping was. I'm like, I guess that makes sense because you're shipping more, but you think if you buy more. Anyway.
Yeah, but we're used to like buying more to get free shipping.
I'm used to buying what I need to buy to get free shipping.
That's right. Exactly.
I didn't see that as an option.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I guess I have 2 more projects. I forgot about the one that's sitting here beside me in the bag. So I just cast this one on. This is what I went to Michael's for. And so it's a very new project, but I was inspired. Carrie came to the coffee shop on Saturday and she had one. And so I'm straight up copying her. I loved it so much. I will show you. It is called the Live by the Leaf toque. And it is it's a pattern from a yarn store in New Brunswick, and it's called goodvibrations.square.site. So that's where you can find the pattern. The pattern is free, but you can only get it from them.
From their site.
And yes. And
I've been to that yarn store.
Have you?
It's in St. John.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Can you switch the banner tab, please? Or so I have a picture of what the hat looks like in here. This is what Carrie showed up with. So it's using a marl, and it has the Canadian maple leaves on there. And I know that our winter is almost over, but honestly, I like Carrie so much. I probably won't put the pom-pom on it. I will just leave it without, but I really, really like it. And so I started this today, and I'm using the Peyton's Classic Wool Worsted. This is what I went to Michael's to get today. And so this is the dark gray marl, and I'm using the remainder. I know this isn't like a true red, but it's a red that I like, and that's the Barocco red. So it's a little bit of an orangey red. And so I've cast this on, and I've done a few rows, and there I've already dropped a stitch there. Hold on one second. Let me pick that up before it runs away. Okay. Anyway, so here's where I'm at.
My power just went out here. It's back on, but I heard thunder.
I was going to say, you're in the dark. Where's your neck light? Is it charged?
It is charged.
Good thing. So anyway, here's where I'm at. I've only just started it. So I've basically gotten the Latvian braid done, and then I've started just a little bit, and then you've got a stripe coming in. So I've got just a couple more colors of the marl, and then I'll be up into the maple leaves. Now, here's the thing. The pattern did suggest that I do a 2-color cast on, which I thought, oh, hey, that's pretty cool, a 2-color cast on. So I did it, and then it goes right into that Latvian braid. Now, I think it's no fault of the pattern. It's just because this marl really is like 2 colors, and it's 2 very distinct colors. So like if it had been a gray and a black or a gray and a charcoal, I think it would be less obvious, but this ends up looking like a 3-color braid. So I wish I hadn't done the 2-color cast on. I wish I had cast on just using the marl and then done the Latvian braid. And because I think the Latvian braid looks a little bit muddy.
No, I think it looks okay.
Yeah, maybe it will look fine once I've got the whole hat done.
The red stands out. Yeah,
the red stands out, but it doesn't look like as defined as I've seen some Latvian braids. So I think if I had just cast on in 1 color instead of both colors, I think that braid would have stood out a little bit more. But as you know, that Latvian braid, it's not hard to do, but your yarn gets so twisted until you get to where you're going, and then you get to untwist it as you knit back or purl back. That's fine. And I didn't have it in me to redo it. So we're going to go with it as it sits. So anyway, I think it's just a quick little hat project, and hat projects are fun to do. And yeah, so I started that one today. Hopefully I'll have that done by next week too, because it should not take that long. All right. And then do you have any more whips?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So when Kelly was working on her mohair socks last week, and I hadn't brought any mohair with me, I was having like serious mohair FOMO. So I had to figure out, what am I going to do? I really need to do something. So my friend Lisa was going back to Sarnia, and she said, oh, well, if you need me to do anything
at your house to grab you some mohair,
I will do it. Yeah. So I told Ross, I said, Ross, go up. I said, I looked on Ravelry. I knew that my mohair was in bag 1E. It's a lace weight. I said, go to bag 1E and get out 2 skeins of mohair, put it in a Ziploc bag, put it in the mailbox. Lisa's going to pick it up. And when she comes back up here, she's going to bring it to me. So, okay. So then I needed to do socks. Well, our friend Heather of Timber Yarns, her son lives up here, and he was going home for the weekend. So I put in a Timber Yarns order so that they could bring it up here for me, and so that I could start the socks. So here is what I have. So I just a minute here, grab my mohair. So I got my mohair, got it all rolled up. I'm only here for another few days. I don't know why I told them to bring 2 skeins of mohair.
Because that's just like the typical needy person you are, making people all jump through hoops just to keep you and your FOMO at bay.
It was a yarn emergency. A yarn emergency.
Yes.
So I got my mohair, and then I ordered this from Heather. So this yarn is her twin sock, but this is the marled base. This is actually one of her Christmas colors, but I don't think it looks super Christmassy. So this is the marled holiday magic. And then I got the marled neon green in the little mini skein to go with it. And so I cast on, I'm going to show you pictures here first. I cast on the Simple Skip Socks by Adrienne Koo. This is a pattern on Ravelry. I believe that she might call for a sport weight yarn, but it does start at a 48 stitch sock. So that's what I do when I do the mohair and the fingering together. I do a 48 stitch sock. So here's a picture of what the sock pattern looks like. I've got to go back here just a minute. Got to find it. I know it's on here somewhere, but that screen is so far away. Oh, that's the one I finished already.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking.
Oh, that's okay. Maybe I forgot to put it in there. I must
Yeah,
have.
I don't see it in there.
Anyways, okay. Oh, yes. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, so I forgot to put it in there. But anyway, so I have one sock done already. So there, I want you to look at that picture because look how much the mohair changes
Yes, absolutely.
changes the yarn. So it's now just like soft and kind of like watercolor-like.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then I love wearing them in my Birkenstocks. So there's the sock in those are my indoor Birkenstocks. And this is just like, I have loved this winter after my surgery, being able to wear the Birkenstocks with a mohair sock in it. It's so warm and toasty and cozy.
Yeah,
and
they're the best.
They are. I just was having so much FOMO that I really needed to get one of those done. So here is there's my first sock. So, and because they're like so much less stitches than that 84 stitch sock that I was working on. I mean, these are only 48, like it worked up really quickly. The skip stitch pattern is really easy. And then you've got a nice ribbed sock because ultimately you're doing like a design in the middle of a 6 stitch, like a knit 2 purl 6. So yeah, and then I just put in, I don't know if this was the heel on the pattern, I just put in a short row heel. But what I did, like for the short row heel, when I did all the I guess you do decreases first, I actually go back and resolve all of your double stitches first, and then go on to the other part of the heel. So that does give it a little bit extra depth, but these just feel like, oh, they just feel amazing. So so I got my mohair fix, and I'll get that other one cast on, and hopefully I'll have a new pair of socks before I go home. So anyway. So when you have yarn friends, you can sort things out.
Absolutely, you can. Yeah, we're very lucky to have people that will help us out, all for the sake of yarn.
Yep.
I'm just putting up. Was it elitespun.ca? I'm trying to think, or was it .com?
I think it's .ca. If you just put in Elite Spun, it should come
Elite
up.
Spun. So someone was just asking where this undyed mohair is from. So this is a Canadian mill. This is the undyed mohair. It's beautiful. And the company is called Elite Spun. It's just all one word. It's located in Mississauga. And you can purchase this undyed mohair, which honestly, this color is just going to blend with so many beautiful things. I know. And it's going to change its appearance no matter what it is that you pair it with. So we highly recommend it. And the price on this is great. And it comes in 50-gram skeins. Okay. Or hanks, the big fluffy hanks. You do have to skein it up, or I turned a few of them into these. I'll just store it away in that.
I did that with mine. Yep.
Yeah. It's just,
and I weighed my first skein, and it was 55 grams. It was 55 grams.
55 grams. Yeah. And 5 grams of mohair is a big deal.
It's a lot. I know.
Because remember, that was only 8 grams, and I still have leftovers. And I did I did toes and cuffs. So don't underestimate what 5 grams of mohair can get you. That's an extra big bonus.
Same with I weighed this too. So Heather's yarn comes like you get 2 matching skeins to do your socks. So this one, I actually weighed it before, and it was 54 grams, and I still have 29 grams left, and I've done 1 sock. And then I think that this weighed 22 maybe. And it was like, I used 3 grams of it for the heel.
Okay.
So like, I'll definitely get I'll get the other sock out of this one. Even it's almost right at the perfect spot to start the next sock. I only have to roll off a little bit of yarn. And while I was doing that, I thought this with that mohair would make amazing fingerless gloves.
Absolutely, it would.
I know.
It would. Yeah.
So,
and Carla's asking, how do we wash our socks with the mohair? Carla, it's just like a regular hand wash.
I just hand wash mine. Yep. And then lay them out.
So I have a little, I purchased it at the dollar store. It's just like a little plastic tub. And whenever I bring all my laundry down, I always take my hand knits or my hand knit socks, and I throw it in that little tub. And then when I have a tub full, I dump all the socks out. I put that in with my Tuft woolen sock wash. And I just kind of, soak the socks in that, put them in these. I have these little laundry bags from Knix. I do spin out my socks. I know that is up to you. Test it on your own machine. Everybody's machine is differently.
Did you do it with the mohair ones?
Yeah, I do. It's completely fine. So, I mean, just for a very little bit, like I'm not leaving them in there. But I just find it easier, especially like I haven't been able to do much squeezing with this hand. So, and then I just hang them over clothes hangers in my laundry room like this. And that's how they dry. And then they go right back up into my sock drawer. So yeah, they're not hard to take care of. I have quite a few pairs now with mohair, and honestly, it works really well. Really well. So, okay. Yes, you could put them in a salad spinner, Helen.
Yep.
You could, yeah.
I find like I roll mine in a towel and step on them. And I find once you do that, you've really gotten a lot out. It really doesn't take them a whole lot of time to dry. Like they're not like drying a sweater.
Yeah, the towel method is what I do if I'm actually blocking something. Like I do that upstairs and usually in the kitchen sink, and then I'll lay it on a towel and roll it up as well. But for socks, because I tend to let them collect until there's like an entire wash load in that little bin. Like when the bin is full, that's when I get at it and decide I've got to wash 25 pairs of socks. But anyway, I just find I'm right the laundry tub is right beside the washer. So I tend to just throw them in there for just a couple of minutes in the spinner and they come out okay. So, okay. Now, I have one more thing that I worked on this week. Okay. And this is a sewing project. And this is the Orbit bag. And I have a picture of, you'll probably have to switch. Yeah, you have to switch it again. So this is a sewing project, as I said, and this is what the Orbit bag looks like. The pattern maker is Helen's Closet. And so it's quilted like a Missouri star in the front, and then there's some quilting on the back. So I'll show you what I've done so far. I'm waiting on bag hardware, which shall be delivered tomorrow. Otherwise, I might have had this finished. So this is the front of my bag.
I love the colors.
I love it. I did this in some linens. So actually, this is from my linen dress that I made to go with my striped sweater. These colors are in my nature dress that I made, and this color is a brand new color. I haven't made anything with it yet. So that's the front of the little bag, and then this is the back has. So this is my lining, and it has a little pocket to throw my card key and my lip gloss in, and then the back of the bag has a pocket. So this is the pocket.
Pretty, yeah.
So yeah, it goes in there like that. And anyway, so that's what I have done. And then the sides of the barrel of the bag, I have these pieces are quilted. That will be the sides of the bag, and it also has the lining in it as well. So what I'm waiting on is for the hardware, because I have to attach the hardware to the side of the bag before I can put it all together. So I'm pretty close to having it done, but I have to say I love the way this little bag is working up. It's been a lot of fun. It's not quick. There's a lot of little pieces involved, but it was a lot of fun to do, just a little quilting project. And I'm really happy with the way it's working up. Really happy.
Yeah, very pretty.
I
love the colors.
I love the colors.
Yeah.
So happy. And I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but I have a beautiful pre-purchased handle that I'm putting on it. And I'll wait until I show it to you next week so that you can see it, because it's like, not, I don't want to say it's the star of the show, but I think it really adds to the bag. So I will show that off next week when I have it done. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with the sewing as well. So it's really nice. Really nice.
Good.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you buy anything?
I did cave in and buy a little something from the Wool Warehouse sale. It's not here yet. It has been shipped, but it's not here yet. So I have nothing that I got to show this week. No.
Okay. Well, I showed my holiday magic from Timber Yarns, but I also got, because I couldn't resist, this color. I actually
so pretty. So pretty.
This one is actually called Marled Highlander, and it's got like the blue, the red, the gray. I just thought it was like gorgeous. And my son Curtis is going to Scotland in August. I don't know how hot it is there in August, and his birthday's coming up in April, and I know I'd really like a sweater, but I don't have time to do a sweater. So I thought I'm going to do him some Highlander
Some
socks.
Highland socks. Very nice.
Will not have mohair with them. And then I bought the Cake Boss Brown and the marl for the heels and the toes.
Very good. I love Heather's marled sock yarn.
I know the marls are so good. And then she threw in these little stitch markers. So it's this little granny with her bun, but it says boss.
So cute.
I thought they were very cute. Anyway.
So cute.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting started on those. I mean, it's self-striping yarn is so much fun to work with.
It is, and you have a hard time putting them down because you finish a stripe and you're like, okay, I just want to get to the next color. And when I finish that next color, and then each row is color is only.
I wanted to see what the next color is going to look like, and I want to see what the next color is going to look like, and before you know it, you're down to the.
Yeah, and with the mohair socks, they go really quickly too.
Fast,
so.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Do you have any other news to talk about? You're coming home on Sunday.
I'm coming home on Sunday. Yeah. So I'm gonna pack away all my podcasting stuff can get packed up now. So
yes.
And put that all away. But I have my computer here for the show notes. I will get those out tomorrow. So that way they can get up and posted. And I mean it's been beautiful up here, but I'm ready to see all my babies again. Well, and Ross.
Yes, I bet.
I should put that in there. And Ross.
Yes.
So, I mean, I've had time talking to them all online, and it's funny because Ross has kind of been working, so we kind of talk to each other about 9 o'clock every night.
Which is late for you.
Which is late for me, but
yeah.
So
good.
Anyway, so
in my news this week, we bought a trailer. We bought a camping trailer. And so when I went on my big trip last year to all of the national parks that we went to, Yellowstone, Grand Tetons, Mount Rushmore, we did General Custer. We did 3 weeks in the States at all the national parks and just having like the time of our lives. It was an amazing trip. And I said then that I wanted a trailer. My husband said no, but I wore him down. We had a long conversation about it and he sees my point of view. So I have 2 years to show him that this trailer is a good deal, that I'm just it looks like it's cutting out. So I have 2 years to prove to him that this is a good move. And I think I can do that for sure. I think I can do that. But anyway, it's a beautiful trailer. I'm so excited. So look forward to some adventures on the road this summer. I will be podcasting from various locations as we're traveling. And honestly, it has so much storage. And the whole time that like we were going through it, I'm like, oh, and this would be a perfect cover for yarn. And look at how much yarn I can keep in here. Of course, I'm not telling Mike any of that. So anyhow. Well, it looks like I don't know what's going on.
Good, so we probably should, because it said it's both of us, not just me. So
okay, all right. Anyway, well, let's just sign off. Maybe I'll revisit that conversation next week.
So take care, everybody. Have a great week. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. Have some joyful knitting in your life, and we will see you next week. Happy knitting.
Take care.
Bye.